So I'm going to give an example of a looping statement. So we have three types of looping statement that we've discussed. We have a for loop, while loop, and do while loop statement. So let's start with the for loop statement. So we have here already, or I've already set the prototypes of the C language, so we can start immediately. So here, the problem, we're going to print a number from 1 to 10 using for statement. So let's start with the for statement. So for for statement, or before we start using the for statement, we're going to initialize first our variable. So for our variable, because we're going to display a number type of data, so we're going to use the int, and I'm going to use I for my variable name. So this will be the container of the number that we're going to print, which is 1 to 10. So let's start our looping statement, which is for. We're going to follow the syntax that I've given in our discussion, which is for, and then initialization. So we're going to initialize our variable. Our variable is I, which is automatically the value is 0. So once it will print it, this will display as 0. So we need to display a number from 1, or starting from 1 to 10. So I'm going to initialize that our number, or the value, should be start at 1. So I've already initialized the first statement. Now I'm going to put the condition for our looping statement. So I should be less than and equal to 10. So the print value should be from 1 to 10. So next, I've already set the condition. Let's do the step, or this will be the process. So for the process of this looping statement, we need to increment our value into 1. So every time the loop will be executed, the number should be added 1. So I is equal to I plus 1. So this should be the calculation, or the process that we're going to use. So every time it will loop, the number should be added 1. So once it will printed 1, once it will loop, it will add 1, so it will become 2 until it will meet the condition 10. So we have an operator, or increment operator, which is the plus plus, wherein it has the same process or calculation as what we write a while ago. So instead of that, we can use the increment operator for our calculation. So we've already set our for loop statement. We can now display our program. So print function %t will be our format string, because we are using integer type of data. We're going to display the value of our I, or our variable name. So now let's try to run our program. Let's try to compile first if we have an error. So I forgot semicolon here. Okay, now let's run the program. So it displays a number from 1 to 10. So the purpose of this looping statement, instead of you write the same statement 10 times, wherein it is a repetitive process, you can use a looping statement to lessen the work. So if you want to display the program vertically, you can use /n, so that every time it loops, it will proceed to the next line. So if we run our program, it is vertically printed. Next, we're going to use a for loop statement. So for loop statement, our for loop statement, what I mean is a while statement. So for while statement, so let's erase this. So we're going to use the same problem wherein we're going to print a number from 1 to 10 using while statement. So for while statement, I've already given the syntax. We're just going to follow the syntax. So while statement, I'm going to use the same type of data because we're going to display a number, and I'm going to use I as my variable. So here in while statement, we are going to set a condition right away. So first we need to initialize our variable, that our variable is equal to 1, so that once it will run or execute the program, it will start automatically at a value 1. So while, then our condition, we're going to set the same condition as what we did on the for loop statement, is less than or equal to 10. And then our print function which is %d. Let's use /n so that it will print vertically, and then our variable, which is I, and then our increment or the process that we're going to use. So instead, as what I've said a while ago, the counter, which is I, is equal to I plus 1. We can use the plus, but this is still the same as this one. So if we run this program, the output will be the same as what we did on the for loop statement. I forgot the semicolon. Okay, once we run the program, it will display as the same as what we did a while ago. So of course we can use the operator increment, which will give you the same output. Okay, next we're going to have a do while statement. So for do while statement, the difference is we need to set the body, and the last part will be the condition. So we're going to use the same problem, which is we're going to print a number from 1 to 10 using a do while statement. So in do while statement, we're going to follow again the syntax, which is do and then the body. So we're going to use the same type of a body or statement, and then the condition, which is while, which is our condition is I is less than or equal to 10. So the difference is the condition here has a terminator. So it will terminate what the condition will be terminated until it was meet. Okay, so let's try to run this, and the output will be the same. So that's it for the looping statement, or the example of looping statement.